Hello, SS1000 students. My name is Miriam Barrison, an SS1000 instructor here at Ultimate Medical Academy. Thank you for joining me today and welcome. In this edition of SS1000 in the Real World, we're going to discuss emotional intelligence and effective written communication. We're going to take a look at how emotional intelligence can help us communicate effectively, and particularly focus on written communication. Today's objectives will be to review the 4 concepts of emotional intelligence, explore how emotional intelligence can help us develop relationships with our online instructors. We'll discuss tips for writing emotionally intelligent emails with a focus on writing those emotionally intelligent emails to our online instructors. So first, let's look at emotional intelligence in a nutshell. As a review, remember there are 4 components to emotional intelligence. Number 1, there's self-awareness. This is a person's ability to understand his or her feelings from moment to moment. Self-management is the ability to manage our emotions, and it's dependent on self-awareness. Social awareness is the ability to understand social cues that may affect others around us. So understanding our body language and understanding our facial expressions and those of others. These are examples of social cues that lead to social awareness. There's relationship management, which refers to the ability to communicate clearly, maintain good relationships with others, work well in teams, and manage conflicts. So let's talk about some tips for writing emotionally intelligent emails. One tip is imagine you are having a face-to-face conversation. Would you say this same thing to a person face-to-face? How would you address the issue that you're going to write about in your email? Quite often we may write things in our emails that we wouldn't necessarily say to someone in person, or we might say it in a different way. We want to take that same approach with our email. Remember to start with a greeting, and these are just some examples. Dear John, good morning, Teresa, good afternoon, Mr. Smith. And listen to your email voice. Again, this is that same idea as imagining you're having a face-to-face conversation. When you're having that face-to-face conversation, you hear your own voice. You can, if you're self-aware, you'll hear how you sound. So you want to listen to that same voice in your email. How are you coming across? When asking for something, give a reason. Instead of saying, I want you to change my grade because I feel I want you to change my grade, you want to give a reason. You could say, well, I'm unsure of the reason behind my grade. Can you provide clarification of why I earned those points? You want to give a reason instead of just making a demand. I like this one. Imagine you've put the whole world in the CC field. I know this has happened to people in the past accidentally. Would you want everybody in the whole world or the whole company or the whole school to see what you're writing to this individual? And if it seems like something that isn't going to get resolved via email, via writing, or if it seems like you're not getting the answers that you want, take it offline. In other words, maybe a phone call would be better, or a video chat would be better, or even if you can see the person in person, face to face. Sometimes issues can be worked out better because you can pick up on social cues and might have a easier time with the social awareness aspect of the conversation then. And just some other common email mistakes in general, and we address this as we talked about emotional intelligence, missing or inappropriate subject heading, missing greeting or title, an overly informal tone, grammatical errors, missing attachments, and missing signatures. And this is, in this example here, you see a number of these errors. The subject is just, hey. The subject is supposed to give a very short summary of what the email is about. So that way, if someone's getting a lot of emails, they'll be able to say, okay, this student has a question about SS1000. Let me take a look at that quickly. There's a missing greeting. It just starts with, I need help with homework, but there's no dear Mrs. So-and-so or dear instructor Jones. Informal tone. I need help with the homework. What are your office hours? It's just, and then even some abbreviations like the way you'd use them in text messages. Thanks, THX. You want to write full sentences and spell out your words. And that goes along with grammatical errors. You can see that with is spelled incorrectly and homework. And the great thing about so many email programs is you do have spell check to check your mistakes. A missing attachment. In this email, the student said, I attached the homework, but there's no attachment. And missing signatures. Sincerely, respectfully, kindly, kindly. These are all examples of signatures and then having the name afterwards. Or thank you, John Smith. So here are some emotionally intelligent suggestions when emailing an instructor. Again, start with your greeting, Dear Instructor Jones, or Hello Instructor Jones. Be respectful of the instructor's time. One thing that's great about emails, if you're up late at night and you see that you have a question about your grade, you can send an email anytime. But remember, your instructor or whoever you're emailing might not be available at that time, so you want to be respectful of that. That you might not get a response right away. Be polite. Clearly state your question or concern. And just a best practice, if it is about an assignment, be specific about which weekly assignment you have a question. And before sending the email, step away for a few minutes. Then come back, reread it, and ask yourself, would I say this in a face-to-face conversation? If you realize, my voice, my email voice, it doesn't sound too polite or isn't clear, then you can make some adjustments to the email and then read it again and send it. So now it's your turn. Take a look at these two emails and decide which one you think is emotionally intelligent. The first one, on this side, the subject line, you graded me wrong. This is ridiculous. I just called you 5 minutes ago at 11 p.m., but you didn't answer. You gave me a low grade on my self-reflection. I know I did everything I was supposed to. I need an A. Call me. Or, here we have the subject line, a question about SS1000. Dear Instructor Doe, my name is Sally Alexander and I am a student in your SS1000 class. I realize that I am emailing you late at night and I realize you are probably not available right now, so I understand if I don't hear from you right away. I have a question about the self-reflection assignments. How many sentences should we write for our response to question number 2 on the self-reflection? I want to make sure I do it correctly. Thank you in advance for your help. Your student, Sally Alexander. And then there's the contact information. So which one do you think is emotionally intelligent? And drum roll. The answer is it was the second one. And that was from Sally Alexander to Instructor Doe. This email, it demonstrates a certain amount of self-awareness when Sally says, I realize that I am emailing you late at night. So Sally's aware that it's late at night, that she's the one who's up late at night, and she has this question. Self-management, she doesn't seem to be emotional or upset. So, um, social awareness and relationship management, these are the where she's understanding that she doesn't hear from her right away, that the instructor may be sleeping or be with their family. So this is showing social awareness and the ability for relationship management. And then you also have the greeting, the polite ending to the email, all the other elements of the email that make it effective and emotionally intelligent. And I always come back to this quote by Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And this is true when you talk about emotional intelligence, and even when you're writing emails. Your voice can come through in an email, and you can make a person feel good about themselves, feel good about what they're doing, or it can have a negative effect. So this is just some words of wisdom from Maya Angelou. Thank you again for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.